Go live. Go live. We're live. Hi everyone, JJ here. Welcome back. Well, welcome. I haven't done a live stream for a while. I'm excited about this one. Who isn't? Even the skeptics, possibly like me. There's going to be a no BS stream. Elon is well known for doing a lot of BS in these things that he doesn't deliver. So we're going to see what's going on here. This is not cheerleading, and we'll see what happens. I'm just going to check. This is just to check the stream as well. I can see that it's working, which is great. And this is the live stream. We're going to use YouTube live stream. I'm going to stream it live with a bit of commentary, but not too much commentary. I'm going to let Elon speak. I'm not going to button all the time. Let me just check comments here. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Now, hopefully this is working. So let me know. You'll let me know in the comments if it's too loud. I can change the volume compared to video and so forth. Let me know if I'm shouting. I am fully caffeinated. That's part of the reason that I've started early here. Now, I am actually excited for this. I want this to happen. I want it to be good. Elon's presentation is always good. You know, like he stutters through it, but he does, and he says a lot of BS. You know, in some of my videos that I've gone back and seen what he said in past presentations, and some of it's pretty much been total BS, or he hasn't delivered on it. But will they present a Robotaxi today, an actual working Robotaxi, maybe with no steering wheel? We'll have a look at some of the projections that some of the Tesla people have been saying, the Tesla promoters have been saying. Let's just see what I'm going to see. What's the over-under on the Robotaxi? Never ever happening. Okay, there's a good start from Ribby there. Yeah, feel free to comment. I can see your comments and we'll have a chat. Let's just have a chat through this thing. That's why we're here, really. And yeah, so I'm keen to see this Robotaxi. One of the interesting things is, you know, they're doing this at night time. You could say that's a party atmosphere. Yeah, one of the comments about the Robotaxi event, that when they actually, no, not the Robotaxi, the Cybertruck event, when they actually revealed that it was dark, so you couldn't really see it because it was quite different to when they first came out with the Cybertruck renderings, and the concept was different. So it was almost like, I don't know if it was just an event thing at the event that the lighting wasn't right, but we'll have to see. So I can see some interesting comments there already. Aren't you the guy that called him a snake oil salesman? Yes. No, I didn't call him that. I mean, that was a title there, but I mean, he is, let's face it, he has said things that have, you know, the Robotaxi thing is, you know, next year, and this is the time. This is probably a good time to flip to this, because let's see this article here in The Verge. The bill finally comes due. There we go. Am I sharing? I'm paranoid about sharing properly there. And so the bill finally comes due for Elon Musk. So this is a kind of skeptical article. I can see there's people on the stream already here. Welcome. Feel free to comment here. Well, let's have a chat leading up to this. It's going to be starting about half an hour, I think. As I said, you know, we're going to use this stream here. The YouTube stream, because I think it's a lot more reliable. Now, Elon did tweet out this stream here there's going to be a stream on X, but frankly, it's not as reliable, not as good quality as YouTube. YouTube's been around for a long time, and Elon's still getting that. And so it's not so reliable. I mean, I'll flip, if one doesn't work, I'll flip to the other, but you know, I'm on YouTube, and this is the YouTube stream. It's better to be high quality in this for everything. And I think there'll be a lot of people involved in this too. So I don't know. We'll have to see if the stream, I don't know about that X stream. I'm just not going to use it. Hi, everyone there. Welcome in. So we're just getting ready for this. I'm going to go through, one of the reasons I've started early here is earlier than I said I was going to. So you've hit the pre-game show here. It is going to be exciting, I think. But you know, I've got some material here that we can go through before the event. There's nothing happening yet except for the people there, but we can see on the stream. Let's just see. Well, let's go to this. I want to go to this. So this is some expectations about what we could see here. This is somebody, Tech AU, who's a Tesla. I don't want to say promoter, but this is interesting. Some of the things that we could see. Let's see if we do see any of these things. So expectations, vehicle design, exterior, interior vehicle design. So will this be a real vehicle? Will it be a vehicle that people can get into and ride around? Presumably they're doing this in the Warner Brothers lot because it's like a fake suburb. It's not out in the streets. They're not allowed to go out on the street without a driver. So will they have will they have a rendering? Will they have a drawing? Will they have an actual concept? They better have a concept by this point. They've been at it for a long time. But will it be a working cars? I mean, we've seen that yellow kind of cab that was testing around the Warner Brothers lot. That surely they're going to unveil a real car and have it testing. This is a big build up for this. So let's hope that that's the case here. I said, just check the comments here. Got your wig on. I don't know what that means. I don't have a wig on. Believe it or not, when I was younger, I had long blonde hair. Can you believe that? Try and visualize that. Anyway, back to this. Timelines, trial production, early access, first paid ride. Maybe. So what do you think about this? Do you think we're going to see any of this? Let me know. Let me know in the comments here. We've got about 19, I can see 19 people on the stream so far. So let me know. What do you think about these expectations? What do you think we're going to see? And, Elon's going to put on a good show. Some might say it's a smoke and mirror show because he said things. He says these things in these events that don't actually happen. So I'll be looking for that. I'm putting a critical eye on it. I'm not a hater. I want this to happen. But Elon's too many things that Elon says just don't come true for a long time. They eventually sometimes do, but this one here, as that article says, that Verge article, which I'll get back to in a minute, it's time to put up, well, maybe not shut up, but put up. It's time to see the goods, Elon. Let's see. Been working at it for 8 years or more. Let's see. So we've got the approach to regulatory approvals. So this is things that Elon's should talk about. The expectations, mobile app experience. They've actually showed that before. Will they show it working? Will they show a ride? I mean, how can they do this in a presentation? It's a party experience. I'm sure people are drinking there, and so I think he wants it to be like that. As I said, I've got my BS filter on. This is not a cheerleader channel. I'm skeptical. I'm critical, and with good reason, I think, because Elon has been pretty, let's say, BSy about things, for quite a while here. We've got more people joining this stream. Welcome here. Welcome to this. It's going to be an exciting event. I'm genuinely excited. I'm not a hater here. I'm not just here to bash Elon. I'm not a hater. I'm excited for this. So price estimated of price to cost to produce and cost per ride. Now this is the stuff that we just don't know if this is going to be true, because the projections on price. But the last video I made, if you haven't seen it, about the Cybertruck, yes, that was pretty critical, going through all the things. Is it a success or does it suck? But one of the things that at the Cybertruck presentation event, Elon said, and this was in 2019, it's going to be 39,990 or something, so 40 grand it was going to be. And when it came out years later, it took a long time, production problems with the stainless steel, many things, changed designs. It was $100,000. And I went to the website to get one. It was $100,000 and you could get it later this month. So I think they had something like 2 million pre-orders for this. So a lot of people have dropped off based on that price. I think that Elon said $40,000 for a Cybertruck never happened. So this is why I've got my BS filter on for these types of things. Let's face it, he can be like that. He's a snake oil salesman, or his lawyers in the last court case about FSD, they argued, and successfully. It wasn't a regulatory, it wasn't an SEC case, it was a shareholder case, and their lawyers said, his lawyers successfully argued that what he was saying was not BS. It wasn't fraud. It was corporate puffery, and a legal term, corporate puffery and optimism. And he says he's just optimistic, but some of the things he says goes, pretty far into possible fraud in my estimation, but I'm not a lawyer, and there are plenty of court cases to come. So entertainment options while riding, okay, sure, why not? Why wouldn't you do that? Also advertising, that's another thing that they could have, advertising like they do in the back of cabs already. FSD 13 unsupervised, now they've promised that in October, so I'm sure he'll probably say this is going to be FSD 13. We'll have to see. Customer owned vehicles, access to FSD unsupervised, customer owned vehicles. Okay, so customer-owned robotaxis, that's turning on the whole fleet, suddenly switching on robotaxis. I think that's a while away. I don't think that's coming soon. I mean, videos you'll see of people on X who are live, there are the promoters who say FSD is perfect, but you can just see from people just putting videos on X that there are so many interventions with it still. And not, it has to be thousands of miles between interventions, not tens or hundreds. So we'll have to see. So hi everybody, let me know what you're thinking about this event. I can see your comments here, and okay, just hide that comment. I'll put your comments on screen there if you've got anything, and we'll talk about it even through the event here, but we'll see. So watching for, so this is another thing we're watching for: hardware differences, cameras positions, steering by wire, range, efficiency, battery size, door hinge design. So these are just small things really, aren't they? We just want to see the design of the Cybercab. It looks like we have seen it in those hidden photos, those stealthy photos. Looks like a two-seater kind of small car. Voice control, okay, through Grok. That seems like later on. Demo rides, yes, this is what we want to see. So if there are demo rides and people actually being able to ride in the cab and be able to use their own, phones to live stream that out or to take videos, that's Elon would want that. But is that risky if it doesn't work? It's a controlled environment. They've mapped it all out. It's the Warner Brothers, literally a Hollywood studio. So you'd think that they'd be able to provide demo rides to drunk people. If somebody vomited in the back, that would be a good sign about who's going to clean these things. If you hire your car out as a robotaxi and it goes out and comes back with, that's all to be worked out, isn't it? All right. So this article here, let's swap to The Verge here. So this is what I was talking about. Now, actually, we're about 20 minutes away, by the way, if you're wondering why it hasn't started yet. About 20 minutes away. So The Verge says the bill finally comes due for Elon Musk. So this is it. I think this is probably true here. Possibly the Tesla CEO has long promised, and it's been 8 years, failed to deliver a fully autonomous vehicle. With this week's Robotaxi reveal, his time is up. So there's a lot of pressure on for this here. For almost as long as he has been CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk has been bullshitting us about self-driving cars. In 2016, he said Tesla self-driving cars were 2 years away. So some videos on this channel that I've done recently, like the last 10, some have been talking about FSD and some of the things, being pretty critical if you've seen those videos about what he said in the past, being 2 years away. A year later it was 6 months definitely. And I do have him on recorded saying that things like it's a certainty, I'm sure of this, about FSD, not just probably, not just, this is the thing about his lawyers saying that it's corporate puffery. I think it's a little bit more than that. In 2018, it was still a year away, 200% safer. I've got him on, record there saying that it's safer than a Hummer right now. And I think that was back in 2017. He said that. So they detail some of these things. Now, one of the analysts, we're going to go to Webbush's Dan Ives. I want to test this. So you'll let me know if this video isn't working, because we really need the video to work. Okay, that's an interesting comment there. I wish I saw those in Canadian winters. Elon can't help it because he's a narcissist. Well, reading the book, the biography book, that could actually be it seems like it's true. He loves attention. We saw him with Trump there jumping up and down on stage. He loves the attention, doesn't he? But will robotaxis operate on the surface of Mars? Well, that's the movie. What's that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the 1980s where he went to Mars? I can't remember. It slips my mind. But there was a cyber cab on there, and it's kind of like Elon's childhood. He's trying to make things happen that were sci-fi in his childhood. Have you ever noticed that? It's like Elon is a 12-year-old boy, perhaps. Anyway, so let's move to this. So you'll let me know if this video isn't working. I'm going to test this. Someone let me know if you can't hear the sound or whether the levels are too high or whatever. Let me see. Let's go. It's Dan Ives being pretty optimistic about... I haven't actually seen this before, so let's see what Dan Ives has got to say.
What are we going to get? Are we going to get info on cost per mile overall? Scaling the cyber cab? Are we going to get info on whether they have a ride-sharing app or insurance costs? I don't know. I want some details here. Are you going to get them?
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be heavy on details. I think importantly, this is really showing autonomous, in terms of true autonomous, as we go to level 4, level 5. This is really going to be a game changer for Tesla. And I think they're going to show on Cybercab and the roll-up, I think by the end of next year, this is something within certain cities that will be, you know, ultimately a reality. And I think when you actually start to go through per mile and you look at miles driven.
So he said the end of next year. What do you think about that? You know, it hits again next year. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to roll out robotaxis straight away. I mean, it was 1 million robotaxis by 2020. Remember that?
I think from a fleet perspective, even relative to what we see with Waymo and everyone else, I think it's a new chapter for Tesla. You do not walk away, shrug the shoulders. I think this is a game changer.
You do. All right. So do you think you're going to walk away with enough information to put a model together, a discounted cash flow model or something based on your own assumptions in terms of where this thing goes, that, you know, you can start to come to a number in terms of per share as to what it's going to mean for the company?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's really, okay, what's the timetable? Now, clearly, obviously, you know, some of the promises in the past have not worked out here. I think we're talking not just by the end of next year, but what's the ramp of the next few years, 3 to 4 years? What could that mean in terms of for the fleet? 6 million cars out there, potentially 8 or 10 over the next few years. What ultimately does that mean? This is pure margins. This is really building out a whole new business for Tesla. And I think we could be looking at something based on our math, 3-4 years out. This could be 20-30% overall profits.
20 to 30% overall profits for the company's profits will be from.
So that's a big call. He's saying 20 to 30% of the overall profits for the company based on robotaxis. I mean, how long is this away? Elon Musk has said that Tesla's basically worth zero if they don't solve autonomy, which does mean robotaxis, right? So we'll have to see if that happens.
From their effort here. I mean, you say that it's represents $1 trillion of value for Tesla over the coming years. How do you get to that number?
I mean, there I just look at FSD, look at autonomous relative to cars on the road. This is not just for Tesla. It's our view that they're ultimately going to OEM this technology. And when you look at even some of the numbers out there, I mean, we could be talking about 10, 20 billion annually per year that they're starting to ultimately deliver when this ultimately gets to scale. And I don't view this necessarily as a massive threat to Uber, but just look what Uber did in rideshare. So I think when we look at the
well, not just in rideshare, Uber, if you've seen some of my videos before, Uber's now partnered with Waymo, and, you know, they're doing actually over 100,000 rides a week now. Yes, the cars are expensive. Yes, they do have remote help, I think, but, you know, they really are starting to scale to a significant size. And Tesla's talking about sort of just turning the fleet on and having everything as a robotaxi, but I think that's a while away. And he's one of the most optimistic analysts out there on everything. AI talks about the party for AI is just 9 p.m. and it's going to 4 a.m. I mean, you may think that I'm a skeptic on all this stuff, and possibly I am, but I think that's just good investing. A good investor looks for the downside, and not just think the downside is going to happen, but what is the downside? You want to have more upside than downside, and the Tesla share price, it's not cheap right now. Well, I mean, I can't say that really, can I? But compared to what it was, I mean, if you look at 5 years ago, I mean, not 5 years ago, if you go back 5 years, so the 5th of November 2021 was the peak, and it's still down 41% since then. So what will happen to the stock price now after this day? So this very week leading up to this event, we're actually down. So it's sort of, is it going to be a sell the news event? They're doing it at night, so it's going to be super interesting what happens to the share price tomorrow, isn't it? So we'll see. Over the last month, it's up 5.57%. And for the year to date, it's up 3.88. Just keeping my eye on the time here, by the way. We've still got about 10 minutes to go. If they start on time, they're notorious for starting late, but we're hoping that they'll start on time. But imagine what's going on. They're getting ready for this event. There'll be a lot of nervous people making sure everything goes well. So it's actually down for the year, 3.88% down for the year so far. And, as I said, we're still down from that peak. If you go back to maximum, we can see there that it's really sort of net flat. We're going back now to 2020. Late 2020, it's sort of the stock price has been net flat if you care about such things. I mean, I'm an investor. I have been an investor in Tesla at times, by the way. I'm not a complete hater. What do we got here? I heard a ding. What was that? Okay, let's see what this comment is now. Is the beta testers will start actually dying, because at least on FSD you can take manual control. On Robotaxi you can't. Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, it's an emotive comment, but the thing about this is that to be a Robotaxi, and this is like this with Waymo, is that it has to be thousands of miles between interventions. The FSD testers now are saying, I drive around on my route and, in fine weather in LA. And the Tesla influencers have definitely got engineering talent back up, looking at their routes, and it's definitely sort of mapped. But anywhere in the world, like in my city here, it rains quite a lot. In New Zealand, we get there's a rainforest kind of outside my window. We get sun, we get rain, we get sun, we get rain. And I was driving the other day, and the sun was low, and it was just blinding, and this is part of the problem that I've seen with the testing, is that it gets into the cameras. The light shines into the cameras. How do you get around that? Even with AI, how will they get around that just with cameras? How can you estimate what's actually there with AI if the sun's just blinding the cameras? I think that's one of the biggest problems that I see with this. Maybe they'll introduce more technology. Elon doesn't want to do that, of course. Gosh, I'm talking a lot, aren't I? When Elon talks, I won't interrupt like this. We'll wait. I want to hear the presentation, see the presentation. Right to sue Uber if it was an accident caused by the driver. He said that the insurance is a whole different. I might do an episode on that. There is actually a thing on the Cybertruck that. Let's see if I can find it. There's an article here about. There's a question that the insurers are questioning Cybertruck. Here we go. Look at this. Am I sharing that? Make sure it's all sharing. So Geico is terminating insurance coverage of Tesla Cybertrucks, says that this type of vehicle doesn't meet our underwriting guidelines. A second largest vehicle insurer underwriter in the US has decided it will no longer cover the Cybertrucks. I don't know if that's completely true. It's not verified, but this article here, where is this? Talk News. Okay, so here's the thing. If this is the case for Cybertruck, what about Robotaxis? Who's going to take responsibility for it? I think this insurance question is huge for Robotaxis. Who's taking responsibility? For Waymo, I think Google is, or, Waymo, owned by Google, taking responsibility. I think Mercedes is for their level 4, level 5 FSD, which they've already got, but you can't go above a certain, it won't go above a certain speed. It only uses it on freeways and safe roads, which I think Tesla will probably do to begin with. when they actually roll this out. But will Tesla take responsibility for FSD? Having the supervised label it does put responsibility on the driver, but when it comes to full robotaxi, is Tesla going to take responsibility for that in a legal sense? That it's a huge question. I think it's a huge question that has to be dealt with. Oh, we're about 5 minutes away. Let me just check the stream. Nothing's started yet. Are we checking this in the background? 5 minutes, 34 seconds left. Oh, it's exciting. Right, so now we should we listen to what the rest of Dan has to say, or have we heard enough from him? I'll just check. That was working. You could all hear that, right? I didn't get any complaints there, so I assume that's working. FSD is pure Peter Pan. Well, yeah, Elon, is he Peter Pan? It's not fair to us riders. I ride Lyft. I've got to see if I sign my right to sue too. Okay. And don't worry, when people start dying in robotaxis, people will stop using it and they will get broke, and regular drivers. Well, the thing is, people are pretty happy with Waymo from what I've seen there. I haven't had a ride myself. When I do eventually take a trip to the US, I will try all these things out. I've got a list of growing things that I'd like to do in the US, so investment related. So, and that's one of them, jumping in a Waymo and having a ride. And will it be a Tesla Robotaxi? That would be good. We'll have to see. All right, let's just see what Dan's got to say.
Broader market here, and ultimately the software driven and the margins. I view this will be a day we look back at 3-4 years from now that actually start to change the next phase of the Tesla story.
You don't worry, Dan, about the regulatory approval needed for autonomous vehicles on
That's a good question. Yeah, the regulatory. So you've got the regulatory, you've got the insurance. There's so much. They can't just, even if there's robotaxis working today, it's unless they've been doing stuff in the background. But I've seen articles where people have asked the regulatory authorities, and Tesla hasn't even asked for a license yet, unless that's changed and they're kind of doing that on the stealth. But I'm not sure. Let's see what Dan has to say about the regulatory environment.
State-by-state basis, which is where they're given. I guess 29 states and Washington, D.C. currently have autonomous vehicle operation mandates. And I guess there are certain friendlier states like Texas. But isn't that a factor here?
Oh, clear. Look, I think David's question on the cost per mile, that's something I'd expect to hear about. And that's important in terms of what we're looking at. Regulatory is the biggest hurdle. And I think that's something state by state on the federal side, they're going to have work cut out for them. But that is something, I think it starts tonight, but over the coming 12, 18, 24 months, I think regulatory ultimately is something that they're going to be able to sort of navigate through. And I think that's the important thing tonight, not just the technology, showing how we get there, what the roadmap is.
Yep, I agree. So let's just see. Now we've got here. Oh. Now let's see what I've got here. We're going to flip to this. We've got some Tesla influencers. I'm just going to check in to see what's happening on the X, Elon's platform. And we're only minutes away now, 2 minutes away from, so stick with us. We'll see what's going on. Well, let's just see if there'll be people at the event here. So what do you think? Tesla Economics. Why? It's a difficult name. Tesla Economics. I guess Teslanomics was taken. Tesla, what are you going to see today? Robotaxi, a compact Optimus. I mean, that's another thing. Will they show the robots? That will be interesting if they do that. I don't think the robots are really ready unless they're kind of choreographed or this. There'll definitely be operators operating them. There's nothing autonomous about that. But will they be serving in shops or on the set? Something like that would be interesting. That would be a good show. They haven't had a lot of time to put this together. But, Tesla's got the resources to put this together. 5 minutes to go. That's right. Whole Mars catalog. That's Omar Kazi. He's Dodgewar. He's Dodgewar, I think, reading from some of the court cases that have been anyway. He's a paid Tesla influencer, either indirectly or directly. But I think he's sometimes he tweeted out a transaction of Tesla shares and said he had inside info. He just literally said, "I've got inside information." So, and I think Elon unfollowed him from that point of view. Chat GPT moment for Tesla coming up. Well, we'll see. In seconds, we're going to see what's the case. We're just waiting for Tesla. Okay, is it going? I'm just checking the stream here. Now it's not started yet. So we'll have to, it's not started. Are they going to start on X first? That will be something. We'll see. It's not started yet. It's not started yet. So there's the event. Human directory station. So these are people at the event who are tweeting out. Oh, you're not allowed to call it tweet anymore. We constructed a futuristic world. Elon Musk tweets out, we constructed a futuristic world. Okay. Welcome to the future. Pictures of robots. Destination, what's this? Metropolis, Westworld. Okay. New York, merch. Okay, so they've really put this together. Metropolis. Okay, so they've got, it's like a ride. It's like a Warner Brothers studio ride. This is going to be interesting. So let's get on with it. Here we go. They've started. I'm going to flip to this. Here we go. I don't want you to miss anything. We've started. Let me just adjust this. So we'll watch this together. It's going to be interesting. I'll just make myself a bit smaller there. Now, I'm going to turn the sound down just for now because I don't want that to be I don't want it to be a copyright issue for YouTube if that's a problem. But it looks like we've started. Nothing happening yet. They will be running around the background. Futuristic. So let me just catch up on comments here. Where we go. This is exciting. I'm excited. Let's see. I'm skeptical but excited to see what's going on here. I can see people waving hi there. So many doubts. Me too. Me too, Ludwig. Me too. Ludwig van Bet van Zappa. A fan of Zappa. Orange jacket is not much enough. Is not smart enough to know what regulatory means. Okay, who's orange jacket? Waymo, it's working in a much more controlled area. It's not a thing that people are using. That's insane on the Tesla side. Well, it's definitely growing. It's growing. I mean, they're starting in Atlanta and in Austin, which is funny because that's where Elon's or Starbase is. He's going to see Waymo's working around. I mean, they're starting in inner cities, and that makes sense to me. You know, I've heard of people in LA like going to restaurants like an Uber. You know, there's in places like there's Uber starting, and there's Waymo there too, and they're partnering together as well. So, you know, it's evolving. How far would they be ahead of Tesla? It is a very cyber-like introduction. Elon puts on a good show. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we want to see this. I mean, he does put on a good show. There's no doubt about that. But part of that is that he also, it gives him a license or an environment to be kind of exaggerating to be kind, and so I'm keen to see what's going on. I don't know how much they can show. The thing is that the lot's so big, we might be relying on, you know, Tesla people there, influencers and Tesla fanboys who are there to show if they have rides and stuff. I'm going to need to see some details. Me too. Me too, Marissa, me too. I'm going to need to see some details though. This presentation it'll be light on detail. It will be so light on detail. And, going back, I've made videos with clips from his previous presentations, and it's pretty amazing some of the stuff that he says. And, this, like the Cybertruck being $40,000, it's going to be $40,000, and just making these grand claims that just don't live up to expectations. Let me just check the sound here. And we're still... Now, I think I'm just turning the sound down here because I have been checked on copyright for sound on like a Tesla earnings call. They used some sound there, then it got kicked off YouTube or copyrighted. The sound, the music got copyrighted. So I don't want, if that's copyrighted sound, I don't want to be using it. More traffic jams as these cars drive really slow, I heard. I don't have experience of that. I haven't seen the Waymo. I've seen some cluster Fs of people in San Francisco where that they've clogged up roads and that sort of thing. But I'm not against Waymo. I've seen even Tesla influencers being in Waymos and being pretty impressed with the ride, like smooth and like 10 out of 10. That guy Galileo, who is a Tesla fanboy, was pretty impressed with it. One of my videos where they went in a Waymo and then they went in a Tesla. This was kind of years ago, and the Tesla almost crashed 4 times in one journey. And I think Elon was pretty angry that he actually released that video at the time. It will be smoke and mirrors. Now, I tend to think that is true to a certain extent. We'll have to see. Smoke and mirrors. I mean, these events definitely smoke and mirrors. Elon was kind of pushed into this. There was so much pressure on that he was kind of pushed into this, and then they delayed it for a month. Was it a month or 2 months? August, 2 months they delayed it. So, there's a lot of pressure, and I'm sure he probably did one of his famous surges. If you've read that book, the Elon Musk biography by Walter Isaacson, he has these surges where he gets people. Even there's one instance in the book where it was like Thanksgiving weekend, public holiday. He got people to fly into SpaceX because nobody was working on site, the launch pad. And he was like, why is nobody here? Duh, because it's a public holiday. And so he got people to fly in. They had to have air mattresses and all the hotel rooms were booked up, and he got people. And it was for no reason other than he wanted to get to Mars as soon as possible, So no doubt that behind the scenes here, there's been all sorts of stuff going on to get this event together. And I think one of the main event people left. I haven't got that information with me right now, but I think one of the head event people left not long before this, probably because Elon, had one of his major meltdowns. And let's see if check the sound. Still not much happening there, but whoa, it's futuristic. So you are too optimistic. Me? Are you talking to me, or are you talking to somebody else? Because I'm not expecting. Excuse me. I'm getting over a cold, so trying to get through this, and I'm fully caffeinated. I don't know if you're talking to me about being too optimistic. I mean, I try to be not too much of a critic here. I give the benefit of the doubt, but it has been 8 years, and he's been going on and on about next year, and some of the I can say lies. I think they're lies, not just exaggerations. Desperate times call for desperate promises. Indeed, we'll have to see what he promises today. He won't call it a promise, of course. They don't call it a promise. It's just being optimistic and corporate puffery in the legal sense. That's what his lawyers say. They actually have said that in court recently, that it's corporate puffery and extreme optimism. It's not lies. It's not fraud. It's just corporate puffery, and he's allowed to do that. But there comes a time, as that Verge article, if you've been here, if you saw that few minutes ago when I showed that, it's time to deliver, isn't it? It's time to deliver. So let's see what they've got here. Obviously they're not starting yet. It's 10 past now. These are notorious for going a bit long to starting late, but you can imagine what's going on behind the scenes. Hopefully it's not trying to get a Robotaxi going and it's not working at the last minute. You never know what's going on. I have been involved in corporate events from time to time, and it's pretty nerve-wracking when you've got something live, and there's a lot of there'll be a lot of eyes on this event. Let's put it that way. People there, and they've invited reporters. I've heard there's a lot of people at the event. Elon late, yes, indeed. So, but they know how much anticipation is for this. I'm just gonna check the Tesla influencers feed and see if we can see what's going on there. See if we can see the latest in the background here. I'm just gonna check this. So they've got a there we go. The stream has started on X as well. It's no different. So it's not ahead there. There's 542.6k people watching on X. Now this is why I'm using YouTube, because I don't fancy the stability of the stream on X, and that's another thing that there'll be pressure on to keep that going. They've had a bit of practice for it, but I'm using the YouTube stream here, and my channel's on YouTube, so it makes sense. I don't trust the X stream. I'm sorry, but I've been using X for different accounts, Twitter for a long time, since 2007 actually, and that's one of the things that I keep saying. One of my X accounts, which when Elon came along, he shadow banned it because it's got 200,000 followers, over 200,000 followers, but it only gets like 1,000 impressions at the most, and it takes days to get that. It's definitely been shadow banned, and that's because I've been critical of I think it's because I've been critical of Elon at times, and he does not like that. So free speech for him and his followers, but he does try to restrict and silence critics. Now let's see, how is FSD not working? They dare to label some cars Robotaxi, put FSD there, and now everything it gets solved low, and now it will work. Sure. Yep, so Robotaxi, FSD supervised. Now I think they put supervised there because they were in danger of getting into legal trouble, and there are legal cases, including from the California DMV about misleading advertising, and that's going to go to trial. It's going to be a super interesting case to see what happens with that. It's one thing to have lawsuits by shareholders, but it's quite another to have a regulatory authority like that bringing a case. So I'm going to follow that case and see what happens. But he's got an excellent legal team, and some of the best lawyers probably in the world, and unlimited resources. So this is the problem. So is it too big to fail? If there's fraud there in any sense, has it become too big to fail? Is anything too big to fail? Probably not. But some of the videos I've done about Enron scale fraud, a possibility, people have been accused of that. One's a super detailed case about all of the fraud. If it fell over like Enron did, it would be massive. It would impact, would it impact the economy at this point? It would impact hundreds of thousands of jobs. I think the company wouldn't go under. They'd just, I don't know what would happen. But one of the things is that could happen from one of these court cases, by the way. A fine would mean nothing. 50 million, 100 million more. It would mean nothing to Elon or to Tesla, although I think they've got less cash than they say they do. That's a whole nother, analysis. But one of the things that would impact him is if Elon had to stand down as CEO. If he was not allowed to be CEO, that would be really something. And because he's already not allowed to be chair from the 420 tweet funding secured. That was one people forget about. That there was the result of that was that he had to step down as couldn't be chair of Tesla for 3 years. I think it's probably nearly 3 years up, but it was a fine, which was nothing, and he had to have his tweets supervised or vetted by a lawyer. That's not happening. definitely not happening. He's tweeting like 70 times a day, and he's not passing those through a lawyer. That's a joke. I'm just going to check the comments here. Let's see. We're just chatting before it starts. Definitely late. Okay, 3:50. It's 3:15 for me, but that's 7:15 in California. It's the afternoon here. The word robotaxi is misleading. As misleading as full self-driving, complete puffery. Puffery, yep, even more than puffery, but that, you know, corporate puffery at its minimum, I would say. The too long intro makes, you know, that speaks for itself. Yeah, I mean, corporate events are tough. There's a lot of pressure on, and they haven't had a lot of time. He's been making people scramble, so I'm not surprised that it starts late. They can't get the damn taxi to work. Could be that they're testing it frantically. It's got to work. It's got to work, or we can't show it. I'd imagine that happening. That's why they're late. Possibly, we'll have to see. The other thing is just being late is building anticipation, of course. How long can we wait for? Well, we can wait for a long time, but my voice will only stand so long, and my caffeine levels will only stand so long. So we've got 101,000 people watching, not on my stream, but on the stream itself. So there's a lot of anticipation. They don't care about making people wait. They're trying to finish the CGI. Possibly. I mean, they have had time, but it looks like that's quite a big event that they've put together here. I'm just going to check the influencers stream again. The Tesla influencers stream on X it'll have some up to date. Royalty has arrived. Oh my god. That's Kimball Musk. I'm going to swap to this for a second. Look at that. There's Kimball Musk.
May. We love you, May. We love you.
Can you see that? Yep. So that's the event itself. While we're waiting, nothing's happening on the stream yet. That's Kimball. Okay, what else? Omar again. Come on, Elon, don't keep your mom waiting too long. So as we are dying of anticipation. So that was 34 seconds ago. There's the stream on X. As I said, I'm not using that. So people want this to happen. Welcome to the future. Am I sharing that? Yes, I'm sharing that. Welcome to the future. There's the robot. The robot does not look like that unless they've changed it. Maybe they've changed the suit. Maybe the robot does look like that. Are we going to see the robot tonight? What do you think? $44 billion X. Not good stream. Not good stream. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he needs to get the stream to get going. I'm not risking using the X stream. There's no way, even though he'd want that. I called Westworld. So they've got a station there called Westworld. There's another picture of, that's a Tesla influencer there. K10, you might know her. Still hasn't started, by the way. I'm just looking frequently in the background there. I'll swap to that screen. But this is more information here, isn't it? This is what it's going to look like, the event. People are actually there. Come on, Elon, I need a good laugh. Yeah. So that's definitely, there's definitely smoke and mirrors there. Is that literally smoke and mirrors in the background there? It's Kimball again. So we're getting, Steve and Mark, Ryan. Tesla has a strong edging game. Good one. Okay. Still nothing. Come on, Elon. Come on. I'm getting annoyed here. The people there. I mean, the more that they're there, the more they drink, of course, which is helpful. always, always helpful for cheering and for what would you call it? For she's literally got beer goggles on. I didn't need to start this early, did I? Because it's taking a long time. Stick with me, it's gonna start soon. Spandex dude, who's the spandex dude? Why are they having this event so late in the day? Well, that's one of the things that people said is because it's dark. And that's, as I said, the Cybertruck the event was pretty dark. And is it because they don't want people to see as much as they could during the day? But then again, people were doing things during the day, so that's a good reason. I mean, I don't fault them for having it at nighttime. It's sort of a nighttime party atmosphere, which is probably what they want. More people can go at night than they can during the day. I know somebody that's gone from New Zealand. All the way. I live in New Zealand. He's flown to Los Angeles, which is about a 15-hour flight to go to this event because he got invited. He's a Tesla shareholder, a fanboy, so that's amazing that people are flying from around the world to see this event. Come on, Elon, I'm getting annoyed now. Still not working. There's the shot. We're getting more graphics. This is like it's like the Apple if you were old enough to remember the Apple iTunes screen graphics. It's like that, excuse me. Let's have some more chat. Tell me something. Lol, his name is Optimus. Optimistic, yeah. Elon's name is Optimus. The dancing guy, oh, that was hilarious. The dancing guy in the Tesla bot suit was amazingly corny, wasn't it? It was incredible that's what they brought out for that presentation. That's why you never know what to expect with these things. If there's something like that, it'll be hilarious. That was crazy. It was cringe. It was so cringeworthy, wasn't it? Oh, we're live. I got a notification to say that we're live. Are we live? No, hasn't started. I got a notification on my phone saying that this is live, but it's not. It is live, but there's nothing happening. Stick with us. I wonder if any media are invited to report. There are apparently media journalists at this event, and they're obviously, I think there's drinks because you have to be over 21 to attend, which implies that there's alcohol there, right? It's California, so the longer people wait, the more they'll drink, even journalists. And if they take a ride in the car, it's all fun and having a good time. Yes, it was very funny that that robot dancing suit. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen anything as cringy as that when people were actually expecting a robot and it was somebody dancing in a suit. Oh man, that could come back in years to come if it is ever fraud. That'll be played as like a reminder of how crazy it was. And then the thing is, there are other humanoid robot companies that are doing pretty amazing things. And I don't just mean Boston Dynamics, because they are choreographed, the movements in that, but they are the movement's so much better than Tesla Bot. But there are other ones too that are making, definitely not leading. Can they catch up? Yeah, come on, Elon. I'm getting annoyed now. What's the time? It's 22 minutes late, but they have been late before. But there's a point when you say, is there something wrong? Is there something wrong? How long are we going to hang around for? Well, I'm here for the duration. What else have we got to look at? Let's just check the stream again. People at the event is the main thing to look at for whether, what's going on. So somebody requiring medical attention near me might be holding up the event start. It's bad. Okay. What could that be? What does that mean? What does that mean, Omar? Or is he just playing that up, or is that for real? Somebody had a heart attack from excitement, too much alcohol poisoning, or something's more sinister than that. I don't know. So yeah, look, I don't know if this is interesting here. They produced these posters, and one of them I saw earlier had a so-called cyber cab on it. So I don't know how, that's like from The Mask, isn't it? Like with that movie Jim Carrey was in. We're not getting a lot. I'm not getting a lot of. A person in the crowd had a medical emergency, so we're taking care of them before starting. Now that's from Elon Musk, so that's true. Okay. All right, so that's legit. That's a legit reason to not start on time. Hope they're okay. Could be like, as I said, people have come from far and wide and they're drinking and everything, so who knows what happened there. 100K viewers for the Tesla, 2.7 million subscribers is very low. I mean, that's true, but there is a lot of their supporters are on X, and there's a stream there as well. So that's the hold up. They've got a medical problem there. 25 minutes is quite a long time though. I mean, they would have had paramedics standing by, surely. They do have to have an event with enough people. They have to have medical people standing by. So, yeah. Well, I guess we'll hear about that later. What happened there? If the reviews are not good, how will the stock perform? Good question. I think it's going to plummet, absolutely plummet. Just an opinion, not investment advice. If this doesn't go well, because it's already that I think the history of these events is that the stock has dropped afterwards because there's so much anticipation. So I don't know. I think people are expecting this sell-off, but it could be the opposite. If it goes well and there's something really impressive there that convinces people, it could be. I mean, Dan Ives, if you were here earlier on, that Dan Ives analyst, very, very bullish analyst, thinks this is going to be a monumental event. Well, how monumental? Let's go, Elon. It's still the graphics. Most of the people are sleeping around the world. Okay, so California time, it's night time. In I'm on the other side of the world. It's almost 24. It's almost 24 hours ahead we are here. It's 3:20 in the afternoon on Friday, and this should be the drink. They should be drinking with this trippy intro. Yep. Come on, it is. It's like the iTunes, the old iTunes graphics when that you could play while music was playing. It's like that. Hollywood fashionably late, sure. Well, my last video was about the Cybertruck, and celebrities definitely like it. There was Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber. I wonder, does anybody know if they were given those trucks? I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of. They do advertising now, but wouldn't be surprised if that Tesla was giving away, or at least giving access to celebrities first. That makes sense because they know that's such good free publicity to do that. To have that still going. Let's see if we've got any more info from inside the event itself. Yes, watching it on the, yep, fine, but where is it? No one believes me. It looks like 42 minutes. What does that mean? So there's some more posters. That's from Elon. Master Plan 2. So he's got this goes to, remember how we're talking about how the Cybertruck and everything that he does is kind of like it's sort of like 1980s, if you're a boy in the 1980s, what the version of sci-fi looks like. It's like, and this is even more like that. So we've got AI, ET, all this is 1980s nostalgia. It's like the Cybertruck design's kind of nostalgia, which is what I said in that video. It's sort of nostalgia for 1980s sci-fi. Just going to do something here. Okay. Now we're still on that. Nothing happening yet. I'll swap back to that so we can look at the trippy graphics. While we're waiting, okay, let me just check the comments here. Let's see if we've got. As I said, I'm turning that music down, just the background music, because I don't want any copyright issues, which has happened before on Tesla earnings call before that. That's why we can't hear any sound. I'll turn it up. I'm assuming you can't hear the sound. There it is. Not that interesting anyway. Fake real car CGI. Well, we'll see. Will it be a rendering? Will it be the real thing? Hopefully a working version of it. Are we expecting a real car today or some video footage? I don't know. We don't know. And we're hoping, frankly, I think they need to come up with a real car. It needs to be real. It needs to be working. People need to be taking rides in it, which you'd think would be the case because they've been mapping the whole area, just like Waymo does. It's totally mapped. They've had a lot of time to do that. And so you'd think that they'd be having rides there and they'd have it all. They've been practicing for ages and it will go perfectly. It would have to, because there can't be any interventions if they're having people riding in the back, journalists riding in the back seat. But, it should be mapped out and so practiced that it's like on rails. That's what I'd be expecting today. If it's any less than that, it's kind of disappointing. So we'll see. Maybe it will not be FSD. It will be regular cars. Robot will be the drivers. Maybe. I don't think they're not there yet. They're not there with the robot. I'd be very surprised if they had that with the robots yet. So they can blame someone on crashes, the robot, right? Yep. Real car or nothing inside. Real car with nothing inside. Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of speculation about them being no steering wheel or pedal, and Elon was really pushing for that. That was in the book, in the Walter Isaacson book, that engineers were pushing back against that. They were like, well, can't we just bring out the mass-produced car? Engineers wanted to do that, and I think that would have been better for financials if they bought out a so-called possibly $25,000 car, which probably would have been 30 by the time, or between 25 and 30 by the time they rolled it out. But Elon wanted to have no steering wheel and no pedal, so I'm kind of expecting that. And they were like, well, we can do it. We can put them in and then have it so we take them out later in production. But he was like adamant he didn't want that, which seems crazy. Like yeah, I'm getting to that point where I don't believe half of what he says, what Elon says either. It's getting really late now. 7:30, half an hour late. I wasn't expecting it to be this late. They have had, they've had the that medical emergency. But I'll just check the stream, the X stream, and see if there's anything else there that we want to have a look at before it starts. Come on, Elon. Elon's kids playing in the front of the stage. Probably the only time he ever. Oh no, it's too mean, isn't it? I was going to say the only time he ever sees them is if it's company related. His son, now daughter, was saying that he took them on the road trip. They thought it was a holiday, and it was like a road trip, a promotional Tesla event, and he was yelling at them in the back seat and getting pissed off. So yeah, I can imagine what he's like as a father. No, we're not waiting for Elon to clear 175. Yes, Alex has become one of the favorites for Elon as an influencer. Elon is about to walk out. Okay, so 2 minutes ago. All right, is that Elon there? How do they know? Well, it looks like it could be starting then soon. Let's hope so. Fired up. We get to kick it on X and watch this Tesla event together. Whoa, that's Galley. That's another. He's one that I was talking about that was impressed with the Waymo and then put video of Tesla FSD almost crashing into things. And he said he regretted that later. Medic's now clearing out. So that was 3 minutes ago. Looks like we're going to start soon. Looks like it's a start. Come on. All they need to do is hit that live stream button. I wonder if there's a bit of a delay on that live stream, just in case there's anything they need to, if something happens where they need to cut it. Person who required medical attention stood up. Medic still would with him though. Would him? With him? Seems like Omar's had a bit to drink there probably. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold, so a bit of sniffing here. All right, come on. Let's get on. Let's get the show on the road. Thanks for sticking with me. I see people in the stream there. Let's have a bit of, what else can we chat about? See, I'll catch up on the chat. I wonder if the car will be remotely controlled like they do with the humanoid robot. Yes, I would say they may. If they have to roll out robotaxis, it would not surprise me if they had that. But it's actually hard to. It would be hard to react quickly enough. But at an event like this, you could do that. I mean, that's one thing that we should be looking for. And Elon, I don't think would say that. I don't think he'd say that if there were. So we won't know. But I know that they can probably do that. Because there's so many cameras and stuff, they can probably do that. Come on. The event is in the process of flopping. That's not a good start, that medical emergency, Marissa. And, well, yeah, and it's pretty late now. But, you know, anticipation, the longer the intro, worse will be the event. Well, we'll see. Getting, you know, not true. He sees some of his kids every Saturday. They come to his house. Okay, yep, I know. I understand that. But, you know, he's got a lot of kids. He's got some of his kids, but not, you know, he's got a lot of kids. I don't think he doesn't live with them, right? Well, he's not with any of his partners. I mean, we don't want to get into personal stuff. I don't really care that much about that. I want to see, this is all about the tech. Maybe tonight's plot twist, Elon is a robot. Ah, that would be a Westworld thing, wouldn't it? That would be pretty Westworld. Yeah, or an alien. That would be funny. Not going to happen. Oh, come on. I'm getting annoyed now. Some of the people have been starting these streams. There are a lot of streams about this, so thanks for joining me. There's a lot of them are sort of cheerleading streams. I want to have a bit of a critical eye. A bit of a critical eye on this. Not that we can really tell, but we can try. I'm expecting David Copperfield out there, an illusionist trying to trick the audience. Well, some of these things have been like that in the past, haven't they? Really close to it. I mean, the thing about it was that the solar roof event was at a Hollywood studio as well. That was one that was at a Hollywood studio, and it was on the Desperate Housewives set. And they had solar roofs set up. It was an impressive event. They had the solar shingles on the roofs. He was holding up tiles. You know, here we are. Look at these tiles. But as they said in the Walter Isaacson book again, that none of it was actually working. It wasn't working. Nothing was set up to work. It was just a total display for the show. And you know, it was just total presentation. So, but they're getting to the point where they can't do that. They've got to show it working. They've got to show the stuff working probably today. Otherwise, the share price could tank based on nothing happening here. Nothing in tech tonight will be new tech. Waymo exists. Boston Dynamics exists. Yes, since years, nothing new. Not robotaxis, not robots. Well, the thing about the robots is, and it is interesting that Boston Dynamics does have amazing movement in the robots, but it's choreographed. What Elon is saying and what others are saying is that it's the AI part where it's like the cars moving around. You know, it's the same tech, and there are other companies. There's Figure One, and there's that one in Norway, which slips my mind right now, but there was a documentary about that a while ago, some videos, and they seem like they're way ahead, that they're actually starting to put them in homes, or at least the CEO's home, the founder's home. Wow, they're taking a long time. It's 40 minutes they were late. 40 minutes. It's pretty late. Let's just check the sound. You can hear that, right? You can hear that sound now? Turn it down again. As I said, copyright issue. If that's copyrighted sound, I don't want to be knocked off YouTube because of it. Even Figure, it's more advanced than Tesla. It's true. Tesla started late, and that was another event when they hit the dancing robot, right? But the next time, the engineers were actually wheeled the robot out, and there's one robot and 4 engineers on stage for it to do anything. So he's not afraid to show things that aren't ready, that's for sure. They will cancel, you think? I hope not. God, if they can't cancel. It would just be, what would happen if they cancelled? What excuse could they bring? Elon said there was that thing about when they had, was it Trump? And they said there was a DDoS attack on Twitter, which was just bullshit. They didn't have that. That wasn't true. I am excited. I am so excited after tonight. Elmo, that's Elon, will be one step closer to reuniting with Elizabeth Holmes. You've been watching my videos. That one that I compared what Elon was saying to Elizabeth Holmes. Some of the things that they've both said are remarkably similar, it has to be said. Remarkably similar, but Elizabeth Holmes is in prison, or is she out now? I think she's still in prison. Or did she get out early because white-collar crime, and they do get out early? But some of the things, when you put them side by side, that Elon said is remarkably similar to Elizabeth Holmes. It's amazing that, and the thing is that lives are at stake in both, with full self-driving and with those medical machines where just a drop of blood that didn't work. So the thing is, it works, but only sometimes, and it's remarkably similar to full self-driving. Supervised. He is blowing his credibility. Well, it's taking a long time. Come on, Elon. What are you doing? They said he was I'm going to check the stream again, because the people at the event can tell us what's going on. They're the only ones. Sawyer Merritt is there. We all know Sawyer Merritt. So that's another poster, My Neighbor Optimus. So it implies they're going to have Optimus there, or maybe this isn't like nostalgia. The style of poster, isn't it? It's like movie posters, nostalgia. It's all kind of Hollywood. What did she do? Do you mean Elizabeth Holmes? Elizabeth Holmes brought out this medical machine where they said you could test little drops of blood and for various diseases, and it would instantly tell you what's wrong with you. And she said it worked, and I'm so sure it worked. And like Elon saying that FSD can drive better than a human right now. He said that years ago, so similar, but it didn't work. And the SEC caught up with her, and she went to prison for remarkably not corporate puffery, but actual fraud. And so this is what can be argued in court. Is it fraud? Is it corporate puffery? Still not working, by the way. I'm monitoring that stream. Look who that is. Look, it's Kathy Wood. Kathy Wood is there. Of course she's there, and people love that. That's funny. She's their biggest supporter. Look at that, Kathy Wood. It's all just classic, isn't it? This is definitely history. Happy Dad served at Tesla Wee Robot. So is that beer? I don't know what Happy Dad is. Is that beer? What is this? Time photos. Oh, look. Okay, seems like an okay time to drop some photos from Warner Brothers Studios. This morning. Is that a cybercab? There it is. There it is. That must be it. Huh. It's pointy. It's 80s nostalgia again. It kind of looks old. It doesn't look new. It's definitely nostalgia, that design. What do you think? That is pretty interesting. You can see that. I'm sharing that screen, right? Yep. There it is. That's an actual photo of what looks like the Cybercab. It's from Total Recall. Yeah, that does look remarkably like the Total Recall cab. Was it called the Johnny cab? It's like 1980s sci-fi. I mean, I said I'm going to be critical. And also the Cybertruck. Look how straight that is. This is a straight line going from the bottom right up to the screen. So it's like a Cybertruck. Still no sign of the presentation, but there we have it there. Somebody's put it on. I mean, look at it. I don't know if I like it. It's sort of... What else we got? It's just from around... Oh, that's the Cybertruck. Okay, so it's like a small version of the Cybertruck with the back cut off. Can't really see the back there. But... That's definitely that's it. That's not a fake. That is it. I don't like it. Sort of clunky, yeah. It doesn't look super. It looks futuristic. Again, from a 1980s perspective, right? Like if you were in the it's like a 1980s film. It is like Total Recall, but when you look at that now, it kind of looks old. It's one of Elon's designs for sure. I mean, that's the thing about the Cybertruck. Definitely Elon inspired there, even no matter what the designers thought. Let me just check the stream again. No, it hasn't started yet. Wow, it's 50 minutes late now. 50 minutes late. This is a record. I mean, this is sort of remarkable when people talk about this tomorrow that it started late. They can blame it on the medical emergency, but it doesn't take that long to... There it is. I'm going to take a screenshot of that because I'm obviously going to be using that for videos or whatever. Feel free to screenshot it yourself. Look at that. The wheels are kind of... I don't know. I hope they've got this working. are they going to just show this on stage, or are they just going to, I hope they show it working. I mean, that's some excitement we've got from the stream there, at least. It's incredible that it's sort of, I don't know, I'm not that thrilled. Obviously, people who, see, let's see. Well, I'll get that back up and we'll have a look at some comments. This is promising. This is promising laugh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Does anybody like that? Does anybody think that's good? Seeing that in the street? If you would, I mean, I'd get in one to try it. Well, not in the current state of FSD, I wouldn't. But you know, compared to say Waymo, I mean, Waymo's using normal cars. They're now using they were using Jaguar cars, and now they're going to be using, is it Hyundai cars? Oh, let me just check the stream. See by any chance I'm starting to think this is not going to happen, people. What the hell? I'm going to have a toilet break soon. I've been on this stream so long, and I've been drinking caffeine. What is going on? This cannot be the taxi. I think it is. It's definitely it. That's at Warner Brothers Studios. And I said it was this morning. I mean, it seems a bit uninspiring, I've got to say. It's like, I mean, you compare it to the Cybertruck. It's like a more angular, smaller Cybertruck without the back on it. I can't quite see the back there. What's going on there? It's like there's a window there. It's almost like you could have a tray on that, like a mini truck. Maybe it's not the Cybercab. Maybe it's another model. Maybe it's another model and it's not the Cybercab. That's a possibility, because the thing that they were testing didn't quite look like that, although it was camouflaged. I wonder if they're going to spin this event tomorrow. They can't. Like, I don't think they can. As I said, there were people have come from all over the place to go to this thing today, not to wait another day. It's nearly an hour late. I know. Come on. Let's check the stream. No, nothing's happening. Wow, something's wrong. It's not just that medical emergency. There's something wrong. Something's going on. That ugly thing can't work. Well, this is something. The fact that it's so late. You think that's a fake one? No, it's not. That'll be it. Unbelievable. Did they manage to design it even uglier than the Cybertruck? I mean, I like the Cybertruck more than that. I'll definitely say that. And what about these ridges down here? What's that about? I mean, maybe it is from a movie set and that's not it, but it looks like it. Pity you can't see the Tesla logo on the front there, but it's definitely like the Cybertruck. Look at that. There's that straight line that goes all the way from the front right up to the top like a flat. And that's probably not great visibility, but maybe if it's a cyber cab, you don't need visibility. I wonder if there's a kill switch. So if the robot's going to crash, if you're in the back, you can hit the switch to stop it. That would make sense. Does it work in rain? Still not going. This is incredible. What? By the way, on the stream there, in the actual Tesla stream, it says chat is disabled for this stream there. They aren't willing to have chat on it. Imagine. This is incredible. Look at that thing. Design is not good. Yeah, this is the thing. I think people are he's surrounded by yes people. He definitely is surrounded by yes people. Nobody's going to say Nobody's going to say, Elon, come on. Work in rain. Starting. Okay, let me look. Let's go. Thanks for that. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, here, everywhere, online, around the world, outer space.
Can you hear that okay, everybody?
And on behalf of everybody,
let me know if you can hear that okay.
Welcome to We Robot. Just want to thank Warner Brothers for hosting us here. As you know, this is the birthplace of many epic films, many of them depicting a vision of the future. We're here tonight to experience that future that is closer than you think. And who better than Elon, right, to show us that future? So it looks like Elon's on his way, so let's welcome him up here.
I'll be in the chat, everybody. I'm going to be quiet and just watch this presentation with your... Good light show as expected. Here we go. Here we go.
Welcome. Welcome to the We Robot Party. So we have quite a show for you tonight. I think you're gonna like it. As you can see, I just arrived in the Robotaxi, the cyber cab, and there's 20 more where that came from. So they've been traveling. There's no people in them, as you can see. The car's just going by with no people. And we have 50 fully autonomous cars here tonight. So you'll see Model Ys and the cyber cab, all driverless. You'll be able to take a ride in the cyber cab. There's no steering wheel or pedals. So I hope this goes well. We'll find out.
I wonder if they have remote drivers.
So you see a lot of sci-fi movies where the future is is dark and dismal, where it's not a future you want to be in. So, like, I love Blade Runner, but I don't know if we want that future. I think we want that duster he's wearing, but not the bleak apocalypse. We want to have a fun, exciting future that if you could look in a crystal ball and see the future, you'd be like, yes, I wish I could be there now. That's what we want. So when we think about transport today, there's a lot of kind of pain that we take for granted that we think is normal. Like having to drive around LA in like 3 hours of traffic. Yeah, and people that live in LA, I mean, try to get from Pasadena to, El Segundo during rush hour. It's like, you can fly to, another city faster than you can get to crosstown LA. So, and you have to drive the whole way. Unless you're in a Tesla, of course. Tesla already does quite well at this, supervised self-driving. So supervised full self-driving is actually working quite well. I'm sure there's people in the crowd, you're using that, yeah? So we'll move from supervised full self-driving to unsupervised full self-driving, where the car, you could fall asleep and wake up at your destination. So, but there's also a challenge for a lot of people that cars cost too much. I mean, when you factor in everything that goes into a car, and the car insurance, and the car payments, and the storage of the car, it's very expensive. So with, and you say, like, how many hours a week are cars used? Your average passenger car is only used about 10 hours a week out of 168 hours. So the vast majority of the time, cars are just doing nothing. But if they're autonomous, they could be used, 5 times more, maybe 10 times more. So you could actually, for the same car, would have 5 times as much value, maybe 10 times as much value. There's 168 hours in the week, and like I said, only 10 of them are used for driving. So, and then a bunch of those hours are looking for a parking spot, which is, can be pretty annoying at times. So we want, with autonomy, you get your time back. This is a very big deal. So it's not just it'll save lives, like a lot of lives, and prevent injuries. I think we'll see autonomous cars become 10 times safer than a human. I mean, if you think of times past where there used to be an elevator operator in every elevator, but once in a while they get tired and they accidentally shear somebody in half, So now we have automated elevators. You just get in an elevator and you press a button, and you don't even think about it. And it just takes you to the floor. And if you did see an elevator operator with a big relay switch, you'd be like, that's weird. Now that's how cars will be. And it's not just the lives saved in injuries, but if you think about the cumulative time that people spend in a car and the time that they will get back, that they can now spend, well, I guess, on their phones or watching a movie or doing work or whatever you want to do. You can think of the car in an autonomous world as being like just a little lounge. You're just sitting in a comfortable little lounge, and you can do whatever you want while you're in this comfortable little lounge. And when you get out, you will be at your destination. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome. So in fact, I think the cost of autonomous transport will be so low that you can think of it like individualized mass transit. The average cost of a bus per mile for a city, not the ticket price because that is subsidized, but the average price is about $1 a mile. Whereas the cost of cybercab, we think probably over time, from the operating cost is probably going to be around 20 cents a mile. And price, including taxes and everything else, probably ends up being 30 or 40 cents a mile. So yes, and you will be able to buy one. Yes, exactly. And we expect the cost to be below $30,000. And I think there'll be an interesting business model where, like, let's say somebody is an Uber or Lyft driver today, where they can actually sort of manage a fleet of cars and sort of manage, I don't know, 10, 20 cars, and just sort of take care of them like a shepherd tends their flock. You have your flock of cars, and you're the shepherd, and you take care of your flock of cars. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think it's going to be a glorious future. It's going to be really something special. So, yes, good, all excellent questions. We do expect actually to start fully autonomous, unsupervised FSD in Texas and California next year. And that's with the Model 3 and Model Y. And then we expect to be in production with the Cybercab, which is really highly optimized for autonomous transport in probably, well, I tend to be a little optimistic with timeframes, but in 2026. So, yeah, before 2027. Let me put it that way. We'll make this vehicle in very high volume, but well before that, you will experience a robotic taxi via the Model 3 and Model Y program, and Model S and X too. But your 3 and Y will achieve unsupervised full self-driving with permission in wherever regulators essentially approve it in the U.S. and then to follow in outside the U.S. So, and it's Cybertruck too. Yes, of course. Sorry, I don't want to be. Yes. All our cars, basically, all cars that we make. So, let's not get nuanced here. All right, next slide. So, one of the reasons why the computer can be so much better than a person is that we have millions of cars that are training on driving. So it's like living millions of lives simultaneously and seeing very unusual situations that a person in their entire lifetime would not see. But hopefully, yeah, exactly. So with that amount of training data, it's obviously going to be much better than what a human could be, because you can't live a million lives. And it's also, it can see in all directions simultaneously, and it doesn't get tired or text or any of those things. So it will naturally be, like I said, 10, 20, 30 times safer than a human, just for all those reasons. And I want to emphasize that the solution that we have is AI and vision. So there's no expensive equipment needed. So the Model 3 and Model Y and S and X that we make today will be capable of full autonomy unsupervised. And that means that our cost of producing the vehicle is low. Now, we are going to actually over-spec the computer for the Cybercab. So our AI5 computer will be somewhat over-spec'd. And because I think there's actually also an opportunity, sort of like in Amazon Web Services, where if the car's driving for 50 hours a week, there's still over 100 hours left. And there's a potential there to have a massive amount of distributed inference compute, where if you've got, like, say, a fleet of 100 million vehicles and a kilowatt of efficient inference compute, you have 100 gigawatts of compute, which is really quite substantial. And if it's there, you might as well use it. So, yeah, so that I think will make sense. So, all right. So our autonomous future is here. As I said, we've got 50 Teslas driving autonomously. We're trying to give you a sense of what cities will be like in the future. And when you get in, you'll see like it's really quite a wild experience to just be in a car with no steering wheel, no pedals, no controls, and it feels great. And we have enough vehicles here, so everyone should be able to try it out and experience the set that we've built here. It's a very big set, so it's like really, we've used, I don't know, 20, 30 acres or something like that. It's really big. So it goes on, the ride's long. And we set it up to feel like a ride, like a park ride. So it'll be cool, and you'll get to experience it tonight. Something we're also doing is, and it's really high time we did this, is inductive charging. So the Robotaxi has no plug. It just goes over the inductive charger and charges. So yeah, it's kind of how it should be. Thanks, guys. I love you too. So one of the things that is really interesting is how will this affect the cities that we live in? And when you drive around a city, or when the car drives you around a city, you'll see there's a lot of parking lots. There's parking lots everywhere, parking garages. So what would happen if you have an autonomous world is that you can now turn parking lots into parks. And so we're taking the ing lot out of parking lot. Welcome. So there's a lot of opportunity to create green space in the cities that we live in. So that would be quite fantastic. Oh, and also, what happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? The Robovan. The Robovan is we're going to make this, and it's going to look like that. Now, can you imagine going down the
Are we
streets
really
and
going
you
to make
see
this?
coming
We are, I
towards
promise.
you? That'd be sick. So this can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods. So you can configure it for goods transport within a city, or transport of up to 20 people at a time. So this is gonna, the Robovan is what's gonna solve for high density. So if you want to take a sports team somewhere, or you're looking to really get the cost of travel down to, I don't know, 5-10 cents a mile, then you can use the Robovan. Some people call it the Robovan, but so yeah. One of the things that we want to do, and we've seen this with the Cybertruck, is we want to change the look of the roads. The future should look like the future.
The future should look like the 1980s future.
So, speaking of robots, so everything we've developed for our cars, the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot. It's the same techniques. It's just a robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of down, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C3PO. And I think at scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably less than a car, is my prediction long term. Now, it'll take us a minute to get to the long term, but fundamentally at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll basically do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks. Whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe 2, and then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of good, a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. It will be an age of abundance, the likes of which people have almost no one has envisioned. It'll be something special. So, now one of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots. So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar. And you'll directly, I mean, that's just, it's a wild experience just to have humanoid robots, and they're there, you're just in front of you. So, yeah, with that, let's party. I love you guys too. If you look at that gazebo over there, let's get the party started.
Real dancing robots this time. On a loop. Are they tele-operated? I bet you they are. Looks like that's it. They've turned the sound off. It's not me turning that off. That's it. So that's it. It was Elon's remarks, and we're not going to get to see inside the Cybercab. We'll have to rely on people there taking video. And I think these cars here, it's like that is so, they're so on rails. They've mapped it out weeks in advance. There's no obstacles. There's no traffic. It's so safe. So safe that they can do that. That's it. Hey, thanks for that. Appreciate that. Wasn't expecting anything like that. Thanks very much. Well, there goes my dream of going to Mars with Elmo and his 35 children tonight. Elmo did me a dirty. Yeah, I mean, it's a classic Elon, wasn't it? Classic Elon kind of event there where he rambled a bit. He talked about things happening in the future, years ahead. Oh, he did say, I mean, I have to kind of replay what was going on there, but he did say, well, I got music on now, I'm going to turn that off. He had, we've got people going in the car actually, haven't we? Look at that. We might get to see a ride. Or people looking in the front. We'll have to see what this is. Oh no, yep, okay. Here we go. We might get to see something else. That'd be good. Dumbest of it. Well, it wasn't so polished. What Elon said wasn't so polished. He didn't really say anything new. He didn't say anything new. He said all of that before, except for showing the bus. That was the next thing. Now there's an Amazon one that they've funded called something beginning with not Zoom, Zooch or something like that. They have exactly that. That's actually working with customers. I think they started it on the Amazon campuses, I think, but they do it look remarkably like that, but bigger. Look at that. See, these are just, it's one way. There's no pedestrians allowed. There's no traffic. There's nothing. So this is so far from actual real world Robotaxi. So far from it. It was kind of, I mean, it's good to see. I mean, obviously the fanboys and fangirls will be super impressed with that, and it'll be fun to be there. Any real world applications, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, this is not real world either. It's like one-way traffic. They must have had to think about pedestrians, but they've got people behind barriers. I bet you they've tried not to do that, because imagine if they had an accident, one ran into the back of another one. I think they're past that. I think they're good enough for that. Look, this is like a ride. He literally said it's like a ride, like a theme park ride. And same with there's a robot serving drinks. Can't see, too dark. Can't see, oh no, we can see that. Look at this. Have a look at this. See if it's actually, that's teleoperated. Absolutely. There's no doubt. Checking the chat. Please make more videos. Catch you later. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate that. And yeah, it was fun to hang out. I know it's getting late in some places. It's not late here. It's only 4:20. 4:20. Ha. There you go. Look, it's got doors that go up like that. That's interesting. Will it, when it comes to the real? That's the concept. When it comes to the real thing, will they have that? Here we go. Look at this. Is it actually serving people drinks? No, it's not. That's not serving people drinks. Look, people aren't even looking. Look, it's waving. That is teleoperated and not serving people drinks. Thanks, Ludwig. See you again. So now that we start with let random people test this, people, of course, to use and drive these robotaxis and makes believe that they are totally autonomous. Well, they're autonomous on the choreographed, super mapped out lot. That is a joke. What's happening there with that robot? That is not serving drinks. That's Elon BS. Look, it's just waving and, you know, it's like a novelty thing, animatronics. Yeah, I saw that. That guy was trying to talk to it and nothing was happening. So people can look inside the car. It's a concept vehicle. I do like the design of it. I'll give them that. I do like it. Will it actually look like that? Because the Cybertruck looked better in concept than it did when they actually came out practically making it. But how long? How long's it going to be? How long's it going to be till they do this? Till they bring this out? Is there any sound with this? Let me just check. I think it's just music at this point. Yeah, I can't do that because there could be copyright issues. There, the people are looking in the bus. I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of like a Swiss sort of tram, you know, or train. The trains they have in Sydney, Australia, kind of look like that. The train carriage looks like that. Been around for years. Sort of a classic design that can go backwards and forwards. How long will it be before they produce that? Get that working? They have to get it sussed out, or that could work. Here we go. People are taking selfies. See, that's the point of these things. People taking selfies and videos of it. There was a trade show in China where they showed the Tesla bot and it was in a glass case, not even moving. There's somebody operating that. Absolutely. They've added the... Oh, man. It's good to see this stuff. I mean, it's fun, but it's a classic Elon event, smoke and mirrors event, and they do what? So let's recap. So what they've got there in terms of actually showing a Robotaxi is they've got a line of cars. I think he said 20, didn't he? 10 or 20, and it's like they're on rails. They're going down the road, following each other. It's the most simplest Robotaxi event. FSD. There's no well, they're pedestrians, but I doubt. It looks like there's barriers there. There's no traffic coming. There's none of the stuff that you see in the wild, which is totally expected. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. What do you think about the stock tomorrow? What's going to happen with the stock? Do you think it's going to go up or down based on this? It's going to be interesting to see. I guess there's overnight trading. I haven't looked at that. Robinhood's got overnight trading, and that's probably mostly retail investors. So we'll see if anybody has that, let me know. Let's see what we got. It's 20. Hey, they said 2045, 2027. Yeah, he didn't say next year, did he? We'll give him that. He didn't say next year. What is that? A disembodied hand? It's a Hollywood show for sure. Teleoperated avatar. Yeah, I think those robots were definitely teleoperated. The one serving, or it wasn't even serving drinks. It was just like waving and had glasses. It probably served it once. But even the teleoperators, there we go. That's not a, what is that? That's not a robot. Oh, look, they've got FSD going here. Okay. Super slow and in a straight line. All it's really got to do is work. When they're doing that, all that's really got to do is work out what's in front of it and stop, which they did ages ago. I would have a medical emergency too. Well, we'll see. It's going to be the next day of trading is going to be interesting, isn't it? Is it a sell the news event? Is this a sell the news event? Even the guy taking the selfie works at Tesla, probably. There they are. There's the cyber caps. I mean, it's not so different than Tesla cars at the moment, except for that smooth back there. So really, when they had that stealth picture, they've just taken that back off. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't hate the design of it, if that's what it's going to be. But the Cybertruck looked different to when they actually brought it out too. What else? The robots does move quite smoothly. That's true. It does. and that's what makes me think it's teleoperated. See that? If you're thinking of a teleoperated, I think, I mean, the fact that it can do that's good. It's definitely improved. There you go. Look, that's absolutely teleoperated, and they're not. He didn't say it wasn't, but to hand somebody something like that, and there's the people going in the crowd. They're the operators. Look how many Tesla people are there. I'd love to see the room where the teleoperators are. Look, it is serving people things, these bags, not drinks. Not drinks, but bags, which is kind of easier. At least they've got that going. But yeah, I'll give you that, Malcolm, that they do move smoothly, but I think it's I think I'm pretty 100% sure, 99% sure that's teleoperated. It's not doing it by itself at this point. Yeah, see, I think that's true. It looks like a teleoperated robot. I don't think they've come that far. It's like a theme park. It's like Universal Studios, but Warner Brothers Studios. None of this stuff is even close, even by his own words. So why is this unveiling now? May as well unveil the Tesla flying Robotaxi to cars. Well, I think it's now because he was pressured into it. Like, he's got to put up or shut up. He would never shut up, but he's got to put up at this point because he said so much about it and you know, he was kind of pressured into it, and I think it was one of his infamous surges to get this working. And he's got, look at that, look at the movement. That's so teleoperated, that movement of that hand, there's no doubt. Well, it's definitely a presentation. It's classic Elon. Everything is big fake. There's teleoperated robots. There's we saw the RoboCab, the Cybercab design. That's one thing that we knew we were going to see. We thought it would be really disappointing if they hadn't done that. We've seen them going down streets. We're unable to have a look at the ride itself. Faking in a totally controlled area, lol. It's a tester event. Yep, it's definitely. I mean, we knew from a hacker that they'd totally mapped the studios to win it with an inch of its life. So these things are like they're on rails, absolutely. So they had to do that. There's so many eyes on this that they had to make sure that it was going to be working. They got teleoperated robot there at the bar. There's no way that's doing that by itself at this point. They haven't got that far. Look at that. There's no way. See, and so there's somebody operating that, which is impressive in itself to drunk people. Wish I was drunk. The stock probably would be having a few beers if I wasn't on the tail end of a cold, but it's 4:30 now in the afternoon here. The stock will definitely sell off. Okay, that's a good call. Well, I don't know if it's a good call. We'll see, Marissa, if it's going to happen. It seems like a seller news event to me. There was nothing really kind of revolutionary. Everybody was expecting this. Had one thing that looks like stainless steel, doesn't it? I wonder if that's painted to look like stainless steel. That's stainless steel. I don't think they're going to be. Well, could they be making these things out of stainless steel? It's an interesting point. They could eventually. I mean, would it be if they're going to run the ones that they run themselves? They could make them out of stainless steel as a showcase thing, but they have not had good trouble. They've had lots of trouble with aligning panels on the Cybertruck. There's a lot of build quality issues they've had. There's people. It's good to see this stuff. At least they didn't cut us off so we can actually see this stuff. Look. They've got that down. Somebody's been practicing that. The teleoperator's been practicing that a lot to be able to do that at the event. They probably spent weeks getting that action together. VR teleoperator, yeah, I think those robots are definitely, I don't think there's a question about that. Just looking at the movements, it's too smooth. It's good that they've got the actions, the robot's smooth, but it's too smooth and it's not autonomous. There's no way they're up to that yet. The mobility is still good for a machine. I agree. It does. That's pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth. It's pretty good. They've, the engineers, I mean, it's got to, I mean, if you think if it's got from the dancing robot to that and reasonably quickly when others have been working on it for 10 years, but it's not like they're ahead and it's nowhere near the AI kind of moving on itself. That's a long way away, I think. But people, what's this guy doing holding people back? Figure robot, yeah. Oh, that's the one. 1X robots are really impressive. That they've got in Norway and in the Bay Area. It's really impressive. If you have a look on YouTube, the videos for X1 robots, if you search that and have a look, they had an interview with the founder. It was really good. So yeah, there's a lot. They've got competition there, and in China too. They're much further ahead. It's just that Tesla's got the branding and obviously the big show, and they got a lot of eyes on this. I'm selling my shares. I have tomorrow if I get my strike. Really? Is that true? Are you really doing that? That's interesting that based on this event that you'd be selling. It's interesting. I don't have stock. I had Tesla shares for about 6 months. I bought some and it got down to I bought them at $125 in late 2022. Was it? Yeah, 2022. And then I had them for 6 months and their financials came out. Remember financials? Does anybody remember financials? Because they're looking pretty not great. Their margins started to go down, and it seemed to me that it was being like an auto company cyclical, and I made 100% on it, and then I sold after that, and it hasn't reached that price. I don't think 100% from 125. Yeah, it's been around that, but not. I just didn't like where it was going, and this doesn't necessarily impress me at all in terms of getting things actually working. They just need to keep working on FSD and get that actually working. And I have my doubts whether cameras can do it, especially with sun shining in the cameras. I think that's going to be their biggest problem to solve. And there's so many places, including LA, like that, low sun shining in the cameras. 1 hour drinking first, then start the show. Exactly. Yeah, maybe they held off to people where had enough to drink to think that was impressive. I mean, it is. Here we go. This is see the cybercabs running. They're obviously programmed to be a certain space apart. There's no traffic. It's flat. It's a total show there. No robot does not move so smooth. Well, I think it's definitely teleoperated by people, by a person who's been very well trained, have had a lot of time to train for this. So it is breed of crossing at Y with the truck and McLaren doors. So it is breed of crossing at Y. So I think you're saying there that it's like the Model Y and the Cybertruck and the McLaren doors. Yep. Well, Elon does like McLaren. I know that. He had that first sports car that he had. There's videos of that when he became rich enough, he bought one and crashed it with Peter Thiel. Infamously crashed his McLaren, saying, "Watch this," and then rolled it and crashed it. They're both still alive. The robots are there to distract from the lack of real progress on full self-driving. Interesting point. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was speculation they were going to show robots here, and they've definitely got them. I think that the delay for a couple of months was partly to get the event going with that Elon wanted to have robots there. They've got that bus going. There's a lot of work they've put into this to get concepts, but at car shows, there are so many concepts that never come to fruition. And if you think of it like this, the people there are liking it, of course. The biggest fans are there. Tomorrow we'll see. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what the stock does after this. Robinhood has overnight trading. I'd be interested to see what's happening to it right now. But again, that's fans. I mean, there's the RoboCat. They've got, is that a drone they've got? The camera works interesting. It's following them down the street. So they've obviously got, because it's at a Hollywood studio, they've got camera cranes working there. That looks good. And off it goes. It's all very choreographed. People can get in the bus. That's definitely a concept bus. I think we'll go down with the dumb investors. You never know. Well, it's Wall Street. I mean, 50% retail investors, which is huge, or more than 50%. So it does have an effect, definitely. There's somebody there. There'll be a lot of photos, a lot of selfies of the robot tomorrow, or probably already on X. We'll be seeing those. I had suspicion based upon research of the company. This was my last hope. Marissa, selling tomorrow. Wow. You've got time to sleep on it. And that's another reason that they did the event, to whether, you know, to not do it when the market was open, because you get the live reaction when the market's open when you do things like that. It's probably another reason they did this at night, to be honest, that they didn't want. I just got a message here. I just have to check. It's my family. What's going on? I've been doing the stream for 2 hours. We're over 2 hours now, so it was definitely a late start. It's just my son there. Okay. Your last hope, Marissa. So it's interesting that you're going to sell because based on this event. I wonder how many other people, if you're thinking that, I wonder how many other people are thinking that. Is Tesla just, okay, here we go. Tesla just went down $233. Is that true? Is that based on, let me just check what the stock price was today. So 238. After hours, it was up to 239. Okay, so you think it's gone down to 233? Is that in Robinhood overnight trading? Is that right? 233. So that's down already. That's not a lot down, but you know, Wall Street will kick in tomorrow. That'll not be Wall Street. That's probably, if it's Robinhood, that's mostly retail traders, right? My guess on this event, where even the robotaxis are being teleoperated. It could be. I mean, it's not. It wouldn't be difficult to. I mean, they probably had teleoperators as backup for sure. And it's dark. You notice how it's dark, so they can hide a lot in the dark. Literally a Hollywood set. Looks like they've stopped operating those. Maybe easy way to do the show. Sure. Yeah, it's just definitely a Hollywood show, isn't it? Here we go, making up numbers. Who's making up numbers? Good night, everyone. Thanks for hosting the stream. Thanks. I appreciate you being here. It was a long stream, and we eventually got there. Late start. Yeah, it was fun. Thanks. I'll do something like this again. I wanted to. Oh, there we go. So see you later. Thanks very much. I'm going to log off soon too. We've got a lot of people still on the stream. Actually, this is more than when the event started. So I'll keep going for a while. 229. So that's what we are now. Is that right? It was ended the day at 239. So we're at 229. Is that overnight trading? Someone let me know if you're looking at like Robinhood trading. I'd be interested to know what's happening overnight. If there is overnight trading, here we are. Look, robotaxis. So they're not. Yeah, I wonder if they're teleoperated as a backup. Elon would not want anything to go wrong. He did say that. I hope nothing goes wrong. At night, yep, that's right. Sold my shares earlier. So, okay. Sold my shares earlier this week after holding since late 2020. Feeling good about my right choice now. So, yeah, I had them I had shares since late 2022 when it went down to 125. I actually thought that was a reasonable price at the time. In the context of everything, in the financials, before the margins had dropped, and I sold 100% later. So that's more people saying they're selling based on this. Interesting. Is anybody buying based on this? I mean, obviously, probably not a good stream because I'm being, putting the Elon BS filter on here. If you're on a Elon cheerleader stream, they're probably saying that they're selling based on this. I would say teleoperated for sure. Good night, Abe. Yeah, thanks. And you need to go to sleep. It's only 4:43 here in the afternoon. Dork maker. Okay, we're getting abusive comments now. It's descending. Are you people drinking? Here we go. Promising timelines. Yeah, he said he didn't promise next year this time, or he did say I can't even remember what he said next year for something, but he did say 2027 for the Robotaxi, which that could be something that sends the price down, because he's not like saying we're getting into production, we're ready. They don't have regulatory approval. He didn't answer any of the questions, which is not surprising. Tesla puts it's at 229. Okay, Waymo and Cruise are doing that already. That's true. They've got 100. Waymo's got 100,000 rides per week now. Oh, look at that! Somebody's bashing the Cybertruck. They've got a cyber hammer there, have they? That's not a cyber hammer. That looks like actually. Oh, that's interesting. It is literally a theme park where they get to bash something. Why did Musk go all the way back to bad? Why did Musk go all the way back to bad California? Why didn't he hold it in Texas? Because it's a Hollywood studio and they're all set up for it. They're set up for this kind of event. They've got all of the stuff there. They could do it quickly. You know, this is part of the reason is that it looks like a suburb. It looks like a town. It could be to the Back to the Future set, you know, and so they've got all the camera equipment. You notice that there's camera cranes going there along the, and look at this. So above, they can set up all the camera angles to be a show. That's why they did it in California, because it's Hollywood studios. Absolutely. We're still getting a lot of comments here. We've still got around 100 people on the stream, so I'll stick with us for a while longer. Thanks for streaming. It was more fun to see this. Yeah, I think that was the idea, you know, to see it, to see what others are thinking, and you know, it's always fun to have a bit of comments from people, chat. This was all staged. I was totally staged. Absolutely. Look at that teleoperated robot. I mean, it's fun, right? It's fun. He just wanted people to have fun and to be impressed. Elon has lost his mind, but I still love the company. The companies. Okay, we've got a supporter there. I mean, I don't hate them at all. I want them to succeed, and it's amazing. SpaceX is amazing, landing rockets backwards, and reusable is pretty incredible. And this is why he gets the benefit of the doubt from many people, because he has done some amazing things, or being not himself. He's got great engineers, but he's led some amazing technology and things, and that's why he gets the benefit of the doubt with these things for a long time, when someone like Elizabeth Holmes did not. You know, they didn't have anything that was successful, but Elon has come through with some successful things. Long term. Yep, long-term shareholding for sure. That I fully support that. If you can't, you know, people are selling based on this. I mean, maybe you're a trader or whatever. Oh, 2030. Yep. Well, that's quite a long way away, if that's what you think when robotaxis will be going. Oh, this man has nothing to show. He's just buying time to make as much money as he can. Well, it has to be said, he says he doesn't care about money, but I don't think that's true at all. There was one video I did about possible fraud or alleged fraud. It's that his pay packet was so big that he had such an incentive to drive the stock price up to that 400, because he got a massive pay. He says it's so he can do other projects, which is probably true, but it has to be said that that is why he became the richest person in the world, because it was totally engineered to drive the stock price up, and he did cash out enough to buy Twitter, which, you know, free speech, but he also gets to control a media platform. Also, isn't inductive charging totally inefficient and wasteful? Yeah, I haven't mentioned that before. Wireless charging, he mentioned that briefly. Now, I wanted to see some more details and see that working about that. And yeah, maybe they've got a supercharging network. I think there's probably a limited sort of thing that they will do in some places. I mean, look at that. I don't hate the design of it. I think that looks pretty good. The wheels in reality probably wouldn't look like that. I don't know. It's definitely a concept car, isn't it? Especially even those doors may not look like that, but that would be pretty cool. I mean, I don't hate it. I like it. Trump, if Trump loses, Tesla will tank. Elon said in that interview with Tucker Carlson that he's basically effed if Trump loses, and he was joking about that, but maybe there's this touch of reality to that. He's gone all in. Ooh, he's gone all in on Trump. All in on Trump. So it's going to be a close election, isn't it? I don't want to get too much into politics, but it's going to be. Well, he has, right? But it's going to be. It's not long away now. It's not long away, but the result may not be known for a long time. I think the design of it is pretty good. I like it. It's better than the Cybertruck, I think. World's largest pyramid scheme. Yeah, that's what some people are saying. If it's the thing about it being if there's a lot of fraud underneath that hasn't been uncovered yet properly, or there's a lot of court cases that allege it, from FSD to stock manipulation, it's 20 times bigger than Enron. So if that happens, it would be massive. It would be the biggest business story, the biggest true crime. It would turn into a true crime story, right? Yes, that feature of the Cybertruck is so needed. What feature? Feature of the Cybertruck. CGI. That's not CGI, but teleoperated. Look, it's actually getting a drink there. That's definitely teleoperated. It's not doing that stuff by itself. Everybody will say that. Nobody's going to say that they thought that was not teleoperated. Wow, we've got a lot of comments here. Got quite a few people on the stream still, so I'll try and go through some of these. I want to get to comments. This is the most interesting part, right, as we're watching this video. I mean, it would be fun to be there. I mean, the doors are cool. I'm a sucker for those wing doors. I like the Model X. Who is more likely to buy a Tesla, MAGA or Democrats who care about the environment? Yeah, I mean, they did start off with Democrats, right? People who cared about the environment. It really started with the Prius before Tesla came along, and that was definitely Dems and liberals. You can see inside the car there. It looks pretty sort of basic. Yeah, I don't hate it. I do like it. This reminds me of the semi unveiling. Lots of numbers, timelines, and no real data. That's true, and they still haven't done that. I have my doubts about the semi. There's a video, Thunderfoot channel. On some of his videos, he put like the Nikola unveiling with the Tesla semi, and it was remarkably similar. Trying to solve a problem that does not exist. You're talking about robotaxis. Yeah, is it wanted? I mean, Waymo seems to be popular. It's like, I don't know. Sometimes that can happen. Like bottled water is a problem that didn't exist, right? That was created by kind of advertising that kind of worked spectacularly. What is the target of this? What is the target of this event? To investors or regular people? Good question, both, but definitely the people watching this are most interested in investors, I'd say. Wall Street, definitely. He gets free publicity from news. There's a lot of journalists there, but what are they going to say? Are they going to say similar things to what we're saying here in the chat? Trump says only communists drive EVs. Yeah, he didn't like EVs till Elon started giving him $45 million a month, right? This is definitely a choreographed show. Look at that. It looks like it's programmed. Oh, a mobile toaster. If it's for investors, they really believe in on this fake stage promises. Well, people do. His fans definitely believe anything he says. It's unbelievable how lack of critical comment there is. Excrement, formerly known as Twitter. I was looking on there on X today for Hurricane Milton news, and there was a lot of fake stuff on there. It was hard. It was actually getting confusing because it's just everything pouring out there, and people were making fake CGI stuff, fake tornadoes, fake this, fake that. It's actually hard to work out what's real and what isn't. It's getting like that, and with AI getting better, I think it's going to be more like that. And that's what the godfather of AI said, Jeffrey Hinton, that one of his biggest fears, first off with AI, is that the internet, social media will get flooded with AI things and we won't be able to tell what's real or not. It's already getting like that. Looks like a GM Futureliner. I haven't seen that. To check that out. Are you talking about the bus? Probably. Make the taxi the Model 2. It looks great. I agree. That might happen. If that was a real car, that should be their $25,000 version. If they bought that out, that's a good point. It doesn't need to be a Robotaxi. He says it's got no pedals and no steering wheel, but as I said, his engineers were pushing for that. You know, that's engineers in the company they want to put out a $25,000 car that looks like that. That would be cool. I agree. I think that would be great. Why don't they do that? Was shown in 1939. Okay, Futureliner. Yeah, it's like nostalgic sci-fi, isn't it? Tesla will be the biggest company on the planet. Tesla will be the biggest company on the planet by 2030. It could be. If they keep on like this, I mean, could be. The smashing doors. Here we go. This is teleoperated, absolutely. I'd like to see the room where the teleoperators are. Why didn't they show us that? This is a joke. It's not even serious. Light years behind the Robotaxi he promised years ago. He has been promising it for a long time, year by year for sure. I mean, look at this. Look at all the lighting. That's why they're doing it in California at the Hollywood studio. It's definitely an event that looks good. Is it me, or are robots doing better as time goes on? They are. They're definitely doing better, and the movements are getting better, as you'd expect if they want to do what they're going to do. And this has what bearing on the tech, and this has what bearing on the taxi. You mean the actual taxis with drivers? Nothing much yet, but Uber's partnering with Waymo, so things are definitely changing. The bus is so ugly. I guess that's a matter of opinion. I don't hate it. I said it looks like a Swiss tram, if you've ever seen those, but smaller, and like a trains that go backwards and forwards. It sort of looks a bit like Swiss or Scandinavian built trams or trains. Taxi looks like a Cybertruck tech. If you were with us when we showed that, there was that picture somebody put of the Robotaxi at the studio beforehand. That was obviously fake, because it looks much better than that. Maybe that was on purpose to make people think it looked like that Total Recall Johnny Cab. The stock is dropping. Can somebody tell me? I haven't got it up now. Overnight trading, obviously. We're trading in Europe overnight. Oh no, that's not for a while. Stock is dropping. Okay, well that's quite normal for this. In past events, I think the stocks sort of sell the news. Look at all those people. It's a big event, isn't it? They've invited a lot of people, so they want the publicity. Yeah, I don't hate that car. I don't hate it. I think that's pretty cool. Do you think that's stainless steel? No, it's just sort of painted to be like metal, I think. I'm buying more shares in the morning. Okay, there's a buyer. So we've got two people who said they're selling and one person buying on this. So let us know more. Sam, what do you think? Why do you say you're buying more? What do you think that this is? I'd love to know more of your thoughts about that. Because we've got a lot of critics here, including me. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Have you seen those meme videos of that? Are so funny. They're so good. Can the car go in reverse? Well, I'm sure it can. Sure it can. If only going to wave, I'm only going to wave like that from now on. Like a robot. The dancing robots can dance. The robots, they're eating our cats, they're eating our dogs. The dancing robot can't dance much once you have seen BD's robots. What's BD? Our backup robots. Even we got more people on the stream than when it was going. So people are liking this. I'll keep going. I'm going to have a toilet break at some point. It's 5 o'clock here in my time, so that I've been going for 2.5 hours. It's an epic stream, but it's fun. I'm enjoying this. Thanks for your comments. What about the taxis? Oh, I heard a crash. Must be the stock's value hitting the ground. If they did have a crash, that would definitely be not a good thing. Oh, look, they got foosball there. It's all fun. So people are actually having rides. I'm interested to see anybody actually in the cabs with a. I mean, there are a lot of fans there, so obviously not going to put things in that don't work out. But see how people aren't on. They're keeping pedestrians away. Part of the thing, if they had people walking across the road, that would be a good real world scenario that they're obviously not showing for obvious reasons. Where is the roadster? Good point. You know, they took massive. Look, they've got games here. It is a party with beer. Looks like fun. It does look like fun. I'll give them that. Yeah, the Roadster, they took massive pre-orders and they haven't given it back. I think I read something like $250 million, and it's been 6 years later. That if anything, that's kind of fraudulent at this point. They've got to do something about that. Currently $231 on Robinhood. There we go. It's dropping. That is a drop. As I said, it was 238, 239, nearly 240 at the end of the trading day. So that's dropping. Definitely dropping. I wonder if it'll drop more tomorrow when Wall Street kicks in, because that's some big money. We'll see if that happens. Elon Garage Snow. Garage Snow, Garage Show. 231 going down. The Dork Night Rises. I was thinking of Knight Rider. You remember that show that with the Knight Rider show? It sort of reminds me. I don't know why it reminds me of that for some reason. My 78-year-old mother will be able to drive again. Now that is true. If there's one reason to do that, because I would like for that to happen, I'd like to be able to, not just taxis, but get into a Robotaxi one day. By the time I get to that point where I need it, if I get that to that point, then that would be pretty cool. Oh, it looks like the stream's finished. Has it? No, there we go. More. They've changed angles. Now there's people just playing games. Use a bottle, mate. What does that mean? Oh, talking about going to the toilet. Yeah, I might have to in a minute. Actually, my family's getting home, so this is going for a lot longer than I thought, but we've got over 100 people here, so I'll keep going. I'm liking these comments. It's good conversation. Thanks. 12 o'clock in New Jersey. Is that midnight? Midnight in New Jersey? I guess it is. California would be later, right? Earlier, so yeah. So that's, when the market opens in the morning, that's when it's going to be interesting. Who here has created a business plan for themselves? If so, have you considered the economic effect of millions of driverless cabs competing for the same rides? Also, if you do this, how will you clean? Yep. So vomit in the taxi. This is interesting because there's people drinking at this party. I wonder if anybody gets too drunk and vomits in a cab. I bet you they thought of that. I bet they thought of that. There's a lot of Tesla employees on hand to take one off the road and clean it up. The robots are nimble. I can see the vision. Once the price is set, anyone that can afford one will buy one. Additionally, the other revenue generators will pick up from time to time, i.e. Powerwall. Yep. I mean, I don't disagree. I think, Tesla's definitely got a lot going on, and Elon said it. They have to. There's Pac-Man there. They had to have. It's not going to be. Tesla's not worth anything unless they can get, or solve autonomy, which, but they've got the robots as well. I think, Elon's talked about the price of a robot. I think they'll be way more expensive than that when they first come out, and it'll be in an industrial setting first. Simple things. I mean, moving boxes, obviously they can almost do that, but teleoperated, you could see a time when they'd be able to do that first. And there should be a lot of demand for that. I mean, if you could, if they can make it reasonably inexpensive and run it 24 hours a day in a setting that's needed. Are robots trained using Musk dance postures? Good one. Hi from Canada. Love from Canada. Like from Canada. Thank you. I'm from New Zealand, so it must be getting late there. Thanks for sticking around. Roadster due 2050, lol. I think it, I mean, yeah, it's been a long time, isn't it? Where's my Roadster? I like the look of it. He's promised a lot for the Roadster as well. Oh, they got a DJ there. No, not a DJ. He's playing something, playing keyboards. One of Elon's relations. That's funny. Have they got music? Oh, I'm going to turn that up. No, it's just background music. I've got to turn it off because it's copyright issues, I think. Now, I've lost track of where we are in the timeline. In the chat, Dance Moves, Roadster. US regulators may keep Chinese products out of American market. Tesla may shine in US because of that. US regulators may keep Chinese. Yeah, well, they are. It's 100% tariffs on BYD cars coming in. If the BYDs were allowed in, well, there's a good close-up look of the car. Look at that. Yeah, and there's, yeah, I don't hate it. I think it looks pretty good. Now, obviously, that's for the bags if you're in Robotaxi, if you're going to the airport or whatever. Regulators, yeah, Chinese, they've got it. China, BYD is doing a factory in Mexico. They could import that way, but they could just, US could just change the goalposts again. Elon's paying Trump $45 million a month, so he's going to help. He'll help if he gets in. And even the current administration, even though they don't like Elon, are trying to protect US made cars. But how will China retaliate? All these questions. Robotaxis are the new Roadster, meaning that they'll take a long time to get here. I understand you. I get you. This is underwhelming. Yeah, it is underwhelming, and maybe that's why the stock price is dropping. Sell the news. Imagine being late for work because your car is 3 cities away and was used by a bachelor party. Yeah, that you're talking about your car that you hire out as a Robotaxi. Yeah, there's the cleaning problem. What if you don't want to do it yourself? Does Tesla have a service where it goes to be cleaned? I don't know. It's hard to get vomit smell out, isn't it? Not that I know, but I imagine it's hard to get it out of other things. I hadn't had that. No, I have had vomit in a car experience. My son, when he was little, vomited green ice cream on the way back from a road trip. That lime green ice cream. Oh, that was unpleasant on a road trip. Aged mobility is huge. It is huge. I agree. And that I think that's a massive reason to do this, especially if it's actually cheaper, because where I am, the country I'm in New Zealand, old people are allowed, it's like subsidized cab rides. So it's a fraction of the cost of a normal cab ride, which is really great. I think it's really great. So I agree that that's a good reason to do this. Those doors will not work in the real world. You could see them getting abused for sure. There's inside the bus there. They're comfortable seats. They're white. You cannot have public transport like that with white seats. You can't do that, and it won't have that. It just gets so dirty. Has Elon ever used, or anybody ever actually used a bus or a train? Because they have seats with patterns that hide the dirt. Hide the disgusting public's mess. Jay says, it's 5 there, pal. Get a cuppa. Or an REN, bro. It is 5:07 here. And I've been on the stream for over 2 and 3 hours. I need to go to the bathroom soon. I keep saying that. Also, I'll cut it off soon. We'll keep going. But there's a lot of people here still. We're dropping, but I want to keep this going as long as there's comments. Nice RoboCab Remac. Also, what's Remac? I don't know what Remac is. Robotaxi would make more sense as public transport, not a personal vehicle. I mean, I agree. And maybe the thing is, they talked about the economics being so good. Why wouldn't they just have their own fleet rather than other people using it? I think it's too complicated. Maybe it's to do with liability. If you're foisting it onto owners, maybe Tesla's not liable so much. That's the insurance question. Is a big question. Who's liable for accidents and that are going to happen? Is it Tesla? That could get expensive, or is it on the owner of the vehicle? Don't know. Yeah, no benefit to those doors at all, just a showy idea, but in the real world, they're useless in any really parking scenario. Well, partly parking, I mean, they're good because they go up, but there are a lot of places that have a low roof. You could see that being a problem if you're going to a parking garage. Look, they got the Batmobile there. Hollywood studio. You know, there's a lot, when those doors go up and hit something, that could be a problem. Across the ditch, Australia. G'day, mate. G'day, mate. Mate. Question. What question? How can a car drive without a steering wheel or pedals? Well, it's a robotaxi, so it's automated with AI and so forth. You can't drive it yourself. You just have to hit a button and stop. As I said, as the engineers were arguing against taking those away, to sell it as that. In that book, in the Walter Isaacson book, they were talking about the engineers arguing to bring out a cheaper vehicle that looked like this, but with pedals and steering wheel that they could take out when robotaxis actually worked. And you know, so you have both in there, and it would be cost effective, and Elon didn't want that. Trump, 20% tariffs across the board. Yeah, 100% tariffs on US, on BYD, on Chinese cars, 100% tariffs. But BYD cars are so inexpensive that even then they could still be viable. We have them here. Well, I've seen Teslas and BYD cars on the road. There's quite a few. It'd be unlike America, I imagine. I think Australia's got quite a few as well. Look up drive-by-wire. It's pretty neat. Yep, I agree. I hear popping sounds. Looks like Waymo and Cruise are opening the champagne. Well, we'll see. You know, yeah, but because of this, look, he said 2027, and that it might be optimistic. But I think at least he said 2027, and he didn't say next year for Robotaxi, I think. But remember, 1 million Robotaxis on the road by 2020? Remember that? It's a joke now, isn't it? Be better with sliding doors like a bus. Well, the bus probably has sliding doors. I mean, when I said it looks like one of those Swiss trains, they have sliding doors whoosh, whoosh, that open quickly. It'd probably good. I think that bus probably did have sliding doors. Not the car, but the bus definitely did, I think. So something's wrong with that one. Oh, the camera goes away from it. Something looks like that one broken. It's broken down. Let's check my messages here. It will be good demo to have a robot to ride the robotaxi by itself. It will be a good demo to have a robotaxi ride by a taxi by itself. Yeah, I'd like to. It'd be good to be here. They're not going to invite me because I'm too critical. That's what happens. You know, with car channels, a lot of car channels who review cars, they get invited to events like that. Well, events like this, they get paid the airfares, they get paid the hotel, food, everything. And if they criticize at all, they don't get invited back. And I saw one example, E for Electric, the guy who runs that happened to him, and he used to have a lot of viewers and more than he does now. And he started criticizing Tesla and others, and he didn't get invited back. And he showed actually a rude email that he got from them as well. So it definitely happens, and unless you can review it, but if you're even slightly critical, they won't invite you back. That's the way it works, and that's the way it works with Tesla. Only the fanboys and girls get invited. Rimac was fastest electric car maker. Oh, really? I have to look that up. I'll have a look at that. Obviously, is that one that was in Croatia, something like that? I saw one in small numbers. Drive-by-wire, no steering rack. AI is taking over. No, that is not AI taking over. That is choreographed robots. JK. There. What's JK? Where is the moon roof? Just like the other models. Yeah, that's true. The moon roof. I mean, you know, it's just a concept. At auto shows, you see so many concepts that would be so cool, but they never have them. Cancel culture, lol. Are we cancelling? Okay, that's the end of the comments, I think. We've still got 91 people here. What else can I say about this? There are those wing doors. Yeah, you could see there'd be, I don't know if the actual Robotaxi will have those. There could be a problem with low roofs and parking buildings. If you're in a parking building and you summon one, do you have to go out to the street? Will it come in? Will it just not go in to somewhere with a low roof? That would make sense. So that bus there, sliding doors, I think that would be years away before they do that. But if they do solve self-driving, maybe that would be first. They could actually do that in limited areas, certainly corporate campuses and that sort of thing. There's a lot of people working there. Love the shape of the taxi. I agree. I like it. I like the design of it. I think that'll be, people will say that they like it. It sort of does look nostalgically futuristic, better than that one we saw earlier that must have been a fake that looked like the Johnny Cab from Total Recall. It must have been a ruse, a red herring. Oh, it's just a minute. Yeah, butterfly doors, wing doors. I mean, I like them, but look, it does seem a bit impractical, a bit flimsy for a Robotaxi. Maybe they probably won't have those when they actually do come out. Bus looks like Judge Dredd helmet. That's probably what Elon likes. Look at the show. It's definitely a Hollywood studio event, isn't it? It's like an event at Disneyland or Universal Studios. How do you move it when it breaks down and no steering wheel? I think what you do is that you might, if you're sitting in the back, you might have a kill switch in case something went wrong and you just shut it down, or it just shuts down and you'd have a voice that says, please leave, you just have to get out, I think, if it breaks down. That's what happens with buses. I've been in a bus years and years ago that broke down. I think it was actually in a ski resort. I was in a bus that broke down and you're like, well, get out, get out and walk. There's something, presumably there'd be a lot of them around, so you could just jump out and get another one. But if you're an old person, that could be a problem. And if you had mobility problems, it'd definitely be a problem. They're going to have to think of it, all that sort of thing, how you get rescued from one of these things. I've heard that with Waymo, they're pretty good with that. When something goes wrong, they have, oh, looks like we're done. Oh, look, there's a Thunderfoot video. Oh, let's meet Kevin. That's enough of that. I'm going to move to let's just see what, I'm going to see what some of these people are saying. If we move to this, are you still there? Here we go. See the Tesla influencers list I've got here. Look, there's people here taking pictures. Look, they're the selfies. We've seen the official footage, and look, there's many, many people showing views there. Tesla Economics is there. It's all the stuff. All right, I think we're going to wrap it up now. Thanks to everybody for joining me. It looks like it's over, and there's people there. It's an impressive event designed for social media to tweet out. We'll see what happens with the share price tomorrow. It's going to be super interesting to see if this is a sell the news event. From what people are saying in the stream, that seems to be true. Some people want to buy though, but we'll see. Push it in a straight line. Great being here tonight. Thanks to you too. It's been fun, and I'm going to finish now. Thanks to everybody for being here, and this has been great. So thanks everybody, and have a good night if it's late where you are. And I will see you next time. Epic stream, nearly 3 hours. So see you in the next one. See you later.